Okie dokie. Welcome, everyone. It is great to have you. And it's another session of Sawuuboonaa. I don't know where you're joining us from. I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to invite others to be part of what we are doing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And make sure that you step out and just invite somebody to be part of this amazing session of Sawuuboonaa. So just as we're waiting, I think I just bring some music on, if that's okay. Let's have some music, right? That wouldn't be bad. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Awesome. You always come through for me. Wonderful. We have Doris from Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. Come on in and let me know where you're joining us from. Are you on LinkedIn? Welcome. On Facebook? Welcome. On YouTube? It is awesome and wonderful to have you in the house. I don't have any rights to the music, so YouTube don't go after me. It's Messi Chinwo, Amazing God, one of my favorites. Okay, welcome, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, you're definitely in the right place. It's another session of Sawuuboonaa. And you might be wondering, what is Sawuuboonaa? Sawuuboonaa, it's a Zulu word for I see you, I celebrate you, I support you. And we started this just last week, so this is our second session, really. Just because, and this was inspired from the theme of the African Women's Day, which is unsung African heroine. Why is this even important? In Africa, women are not celebrated, and it is important that we begin to highlight the achievements of women, their stories, their superpower, showcase the women of Africa and how amazing they are. And this is why we got started with the show, Sawuuboonaa. You get used to pronouncing it. It's a Zulu word. So wherever that you're joining us from, just let us know who you are. Come into the comment box, and we will be having this every Mondays and Sundays. We're going to do it Mondays and Saturdays, but we're trying to do it Mondays and Sundays, just to kind of put it on a day where it's a lot easier for everyone. You've probably gone to church and you're just relaxing, and you can have fun with us. Okay. So do us a favor, get into the comment box and let us know where you're joining us from. It's great to have you in the house. I really appreciate your making up time to be here. And most importantly, please share this video on your page. Invite others to be part of what we're doing. If you're just getting to us for the first time, this is powered and sponsored by the Women Who Win Africa. So you can join our community on Facebook as Women Who Win Africa. You can also visit our website to be part of all of the activities that we have coming on as womenwhowinafrica.org. We are on LinkedIn, we are on YouTube, and there you will find amazing videos, past videos of some of the programs and events that we've had already. Now, my name is Dr. Louisa Akaizo. If you've never met me before, I am a master civility trainer, a woman development advocate, and of course, the founder of Women Who Win Africa. So why is this even important that we're here celebrating the African women, amplifying their voices? And this is for every African woman who is doing amazing work as a contributor to the advancement of their community. It's important that we showcase them. It's important that we talk about them. And it's important that we celebrate them. So please make sure that you visit our website, www.womenwhowinafrica.org/show. And you can nominate and fill up the forms of an amazing woman who is doing great work in your country, and so that we're able to bring her on the show. Now, Enifome, can you hear me at this point, please? You're kind of muted, so I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So our guest for today is someone that brings me a lot of joy. I mean, I love what she does. I love what she stands for. She is amazing. Well, you know what? You can actually call her Fire if you cannot remember her name. Her name is Enifome, but if you cannot remember her name, just cut it short. Call her Fire, because that's what she brings. As soon as she gets in the room, she brings fire on. So I'm just going to share a little bit about who Enifome is on her bio. I'm not going to do a lot of that because we're going to get to talk. You know, this is a safe space for women where we can chat, we can communicate, we can learn about each other, we can get inspired, and we can support each other and tap our sister on the back, said, well done. Look at the great work that you're doing. So Enifome is a kingdom influencer, a transformational coach and inspirational speaker. She's an MC. If you are not here on African Women's Day, I don't know where you were, but she brought the fire. She's an author and an entrepreneur. Like I said, fire is her brand, as she has been through fire, yet come out as gold, and carries a fire that can never be extinguished, lighting a fire under everyone who encounters her, giving life to people, events, and organizations. Listen, guys, when I saw that part of her bio, I just said, wow, you know, words have got power. And it's so important that you're able to, represent yourself through words with the right word, because that's really who she is. I mean, I'm not trying to be cocky here, because you're going to get to experience this lady in a couple of minutes. This is who she is. She brings it on. She lights up the room. She lights up people. Everyone that comes in contact with Enifome cannot go back the same. There's always something in her that's going to impact your life, whether it's her story, whether it's her vibe, whether it's her beauty. She's such a beautiful lady. A full package. And that's what we see with African women. But, yes, please vibe up, okay? But the problem is we African women, most of the time, we do not appreciate who we are. We do not even know our self-worth. And that needs to stop, because the African woman is beautiful. The African woman is powerful. She is amazing. She's resilient. She's a leader. Mm-hmm. She's an influencer. And that comes naturally, but you just have to be able to find that gift that lies deep inside of you. And that's what we're going to be doing through this program, Sawuuboonaa, as we continue to bring to you amazing women from all over Africa doing amazing work. And if you ever thought whether your story was good enough or not, well, you're going to get to find out that you're just good the way you are, and you can get started wherever that you find yourself. You don't need anything fantastic. You can get started right now. So, Enifome, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for all
It's
you
great to have
do.
you.
Thank you for being you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you. So here is great to have you. Onyinye is here from Nigeria. Lucia from Kenya. It's great to have you in the house. Thank you so much. Please just do us a favor to invite other people to be part of what we're doing. LinkedIn family, I know this is like the second time you see me live, but I'm excited. You get to find out who we are because we're ready to bring the fire on LinkedIn. Shokweju, it's good to have you in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Enifome, back to you because you are the superstar for today. Well, you're always a superstar every day, but today is special. The first question I have for you, Enifome, is, what really inspired you to do the things that you do? And maybe before you even get to that, can you just kind of give us a little glimpse about what you do, who you are, and what you do in Africa for the women? Over to you, Enifome.
Okay. It's amazing what God is doing with Africa because I was just doing my thing, but I realized that what I was doing is not just about Nigeria. It's not just about where I'm localized. It's about the women in Africa and everywhere that an African woman is, and even all over the world. And it just really started from an encounter that I had. Now, before I even go into the encounter, I would just speak about myself and how I found myself here. So I've always been this child so I was born bold and fiery. That's the simple truth. My mom showed me a picture. Now you'd laugh when I say this. My mom showed me a picture of when I was 2 years old.
Mm.
I was holding a plate of chin chin. Now, chin chin is a pastry that we eat in Nigeria. It's very, very delicious.
Wow.
I was holding a plate, and my father was trying to, I think he was trying to tell me something, but to convince me to take the plate or something. And I was like this in the picture, like, and my mom was explaining to me what was happening in the picture. And she said, you right from time, they agree. That's the word that she used, that you cannot intimidate Enifome, even as a child. You cannot shut her up. You cannot make her feel like she would express herself. She would say what somebody else is not saying. She would question everything. Why is this thing like this? You say, go do something. She's like, why? That's the kind of child I was, right? And this was me. I could raise my hand up anywhere. I remember a story my mother told me of when I was in nursery school, and the head teacher came to the class and said, who can spell bubbles? And I was the only one that raised up my hand. And I spelled bubbles with my small mouth, Bubbles, bubbles. And then he took me to his office. I was the star for that day. He gave me a bottle of Coke. I was feeling fly and cool. But that's who I was. That's who I was born to be. But then life began to happen in the sense that people began to see me as overbearing. You're doing too much. Are you the only one in the room?
Right.
Shut up. Can't you just see something and keep quiet? Those things that people say, you talk too much.
Yeah.
So after a while, I realized that I would walk into a room and go to the back. I would stay at the back. I just don't want anybody to know I'm there. Meanwhile, I'm the kind of person that if I enter a place, you must know I'm there. But because of people's comments and all these things, I would just stay at the back. Nobody should know I'm here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But a lot of times, what their comments did to me was it made me timid. It made me go into my shell and just decide that, okay, you know what, let me just be in my shell. And that's how I was, right? And then I realized that if women are being oppressed around me, if somebody is trying to oppress any woman, I don't need to know the woman. I'll just be angry and carry the matter on my head. I noticed that about me. So whether it's in the bus or on the road, or someone is trying to bully a woman, I'm like, you can't do that to her. No, stop it. And I was just like this. And I would wonder and ask myself, is it your business? Why are you poke nosing? Like, why are you putting your nose in other people's business? But it wasn't just other people, it was women. There was something in me that couldn't just stand women being oppressed. And so my mom also was also being oppressed. So I would see my dad oppress my mom, and I would speak up and say, speak up for yourself. My mom won't speak up. And I'm like, you know what? If you don't speak up, I will speak up for you. So I was the fighter that would fight my dad and fight anyone who oppressed any woman around me. But for a long time, I was wondering, why are you even like this? Why can't you just walk up us? Why can't you just walk away? Why must you always get into things like this? You know, so that was who I am. Then who I was, I mean. So as I was growing up, life started to happen to me in a way that got me silenced. So I already had timidity issues. I started feeling rejected, and it was really about a thought that came into my mind from the way my father used to treat me. So I just felt that because I was the only girl, my father and I should have been close, but we're not close. He was very harsh. I didn't understand the way he was doing things, and I was always the only one challenging him. I was that child that would challenge him and say, no, this is wrong. You can't do this. This is wrong. And I was like that. But after a while, I started to feel like he didn't love me. Maybe he adopted me and he didn't want to tell me. And that's why he was very harsh. Somehow those thoughts crept into my mind. And that's why I started to feel rejected, started to feel not good enough, started to feel timid. And it started to affect my relationships, my choices, the things I was doing, right? So I was this angry person. I just didn't like men. I just didn't, I couldn't stand men, especially men that were philanderas, cheats, and men that, you know, just couldn't hold themselves. So I was angry. I was this angry person. I'm angry, but I'm angry, you know. So I was having a lot of baggages, and I didn't even know. Now, here's the thing. I've always been this upright girl, upright child. My mother and father raised me well in the ways of God. So uprightness wasn't a problem. Uprightness wasn't a problem at all. So I was very upright. But I was carrying baggages, and I didn't even know. So I was beautiful, studying a very good course. You know, I had the good life. My parents were very, 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 very okay. Like, my dad was in the Navy, so we had everything we wanted. You know, it was good. But I had baggages from the things I saw happen in my own home, right? And I didn't even know. It was later on when I got into a very terrible situation with someone, like a relationship, right? And then later on, he started abusing me, right? And then maltreating me. And then I went through so much in that situation that I became a shadow of myself. I had a very thriving job, but I was always crying. I would lock my door and I would cry, and I would clean my face and I would wear makeup. But I was dying. I was dying. I was literally dying. I was dying. You know, so after that, things went south. I became broken. I was already abused, and I was distressed. I was abandoned and rejected. I didn't know where to go. You know, I was confused. And in that moment, I started to ask myself about the many women that were in my situation at that time and where they were going to go to. That's where the whole thing started to happen to me. That's where the revolution started in my mind, right? Yeah. And then because I was hurt, I started to seek the face of the Lord, ask the Lord to help me, heal me, fix me. I started to see that I was a broken person. I wasn't as complete as I looked on the outside. There were things that happened from my childhood that had scarred me, but I didn't even know, right? So I was broken. I was a broken person. I was a mess, in the sense that I didn't understand what was happening in my life. Why does it seem like everything is upside down. So I started to
Right.
seek the face of God. I would cry, I would worship, I would say, Lord, please help me, show me, just teach me, have mercy. I was just praying because I obviously had gotten myself in the belly of a fish.
Mm. Yeah, she's going to be back. I think network is a little fuzzy. If you're just joining us for the first time, it's Sawuuboonaa, and we are here every Mondays and Sundays. We were just talking, having a great chat with Enifome, who is based in Nigeria. She's trying to come back on again. I'm sorry. You're back. Yay!
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
Yes.
Thank you. So I got myself in the belly of a fish, literally. And I like to say that it's where we find ourselves, especially if you're Christian, where God is trying to warn you or tell you something, and then you do your thing, or you try
Mm.
to calculate your life and analyze and be in charge of your life, and then you realize at the end of the day that you're not the owner of your life. You just actually were created by a creator. So that's where I found myself, and I had to go back to my creator to say, look, I surrender. I don't want to know it all. I don't want to figure
Yeah.
it out. I don't want to know anything. Just do whatever it is you want to do with me. I'm done trying to be in control, right? And that's
Mm.
how I surrendered to God. And one day while worshiping, I heard him say to me, I have loved you with an everlasting love. And that was the beginning of being introduced to real love. Now, my father was there, but he wasn't there. My father and I were not close in any way. My father, I wished we were close, but we never were close. So I
Mm.
couldn't tell him, oh, that this is how I'm feeling, that this is what I want to do, or that a guy is toasting me, like asking me out. In fact, he even had a law then that if I see you with a guy, I will scrape your head with bottle. So I was terrified. My
Yeah.
father I was always afraid of my father. Like if he's coming in the house, I would run to the room. That was the kind of
Mm.
relationship that we had. So I didn't even
Mhm.
know that all this affected me. I thought I was fine. It was when I went back to God to say, Lord, you need to sort me out. You need to fix me. He started to highlight these issues and say to me that he needed to love me. I needed to open my arms to his love. And I said to him one day, I said, I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to open my arms. I don't know how to love you. I don't know. What is love. Like, show me what is really love. And one day he said to me, my love language is obedience. I said, okay, cool. So I started to obey God, study his word. I was just basically hungry and thirsty because I had gotten myself to a point where I knew that it was only God that could get me out. Because you see, when you're in the belly of a fish situation, it's
Mm.
only God that can get you out. I don't know if you're listening to me and you can relate, or you've been in such a situation where you're like, it's only God that can help me. That was where I was. So I just knew that if
Ah.
God didn't help me, I was doomed. I was dead, literally. So I started to go back to God, and that was when I died on the altar. I just said, Lord, take my life, take my mess, take everything I've been through, take everything, the mistakes, everything, and use it for your glory. And that was how I started to get healed by God. So he was my therapist, he was my healer, he was my coach, he was my mentor, he was my teacher, he was my everything, my source. I had to start life from scratch, basically, because I lost everything. I lost the relationship. I lost my belongings. I lost property. I lost everything. I lost my thriving job. I started from scratch, literally, like I had to build my life again. It
Mm.
was hard. It was confusing. It was full of battles and issues, but God just kept holding my hand, and I learned to rely on God as my source. I learned so many lessons, in on that journey, where I found out that at the end of the day, God is the only trusted thing or being. Like every other person can come and go, but God is the constant. He doesn't leave, he doesn't go, he's always there. We are the ones that leave, and then we come right back to start crawling and say, Lord, please help me. But I learned a lot of things from that experience. But I also started obeying God, building intimacy with God, and helping women So before all of this happened, I had a ministry where I was helping women, pointing them to God and just teaching them about God and all of that. But in 2020, while I was praying and having a wonderful time with God, now I had taken God as my everything. So my lover, my best friend, my ATM. I don't know. I have some words I can't even say here because you wonder what kind of word is that, but it's very personal to me, like my solace, my thermostat, the one that reduces and regulates my temperature, like the God that does everything for me. So I've been in this love relationship with God. And then one day I was worshiping and just being in a very wonderful communion with him. And I heard live again. And I was wondering, what is live again? What does that even mean, right? And so I started to ask God questions and then ask some of my mentors and everything. And I came to the conclusion and the clarity that live again is actually what my life story. I was knocked down by life. I was hit so hard. I fell so hard, and I had to get back up to help other people get back up. And that was how the work that I do today with Live Again really started. Because from there, I set up the Live Again movement to help women live again. In fact, it started becoming so clear. And I saw that, the dangers of a woman not living again. And now live again, what it really is you've been knocked down. Yes, you made mistakes. Now, live again is not even for those people who have always had their lives figured out, who their lives are always, from the day you were born till today, you've not had issues. You just went to school. Everything was just smooth. Everything has always been smooth for you. Live again is for the woman who has been knocked down by life, who life has dealt a hard blow, who has been through a painful or difficult situation, one that, she has found herself in and she's unable to help herself get back up, and she has just died from that day. It's like bearing pain to the point where pain begins to kill you and numb you, and then settling for a life that you actually are supposed to be more than, but because you've seen your life.
Well, network is being funky today, but if you're just joining us, I want you to know that I really appreciate you. And we are just having a conversation with Enifome, and this is another session of Sawuuboonaa. Sawuuboonaa means I see you, I celebrate you, I honor you. And we are a movement driving and bringing the African woman to the front line, celebrating the African women, all of the things that we do, all of our achievements, our personal story, our pain, we're bringing it into the front line. We just want to support every woman in Africa. Yes, Leave Again is for women that went through difficulty. Thank you so much, Shakuji, for saying that. Leave Again is for women that went through difficulty. Also, it's meant for women who are dead but leaving. That's correct. So I'm just going to pass this back to you, and for me to just kind of share more about what is the Leave Again about, and how are you using that in the community today. Of course, I do know about your movement is amazing, your tribe, and I do know that some of the things that you do, which I was very inspired by, is even creating shelters for women. I thought that was so powerful, and that's something that I want you to share here for us. Over to you.
Okay, amazing. So thank you so much, Dr. Louisa. I don't know why the network threw me out, but I'm glad to be back. So basically, it's really about women who are existing. Now, so in the course of this work, God showed me a vision. He showed me a vision of women as walking dead. It was like an army of women, but they were walking, they were very well dressed, they were looking so beautiful, with all the right accessories, glowing and all from outside, but they were walking there. I don't know if you've watched like Vampire Diaries, like vampire movies. They were like this, and they were like this. They were like zombies. And I was like, what is this? And then he started to tell a lot of women are dying on the outside, on the inside, but look good on the outside. They are shining on the outside, but they are wounded on the inside. And many of these wounds are not physical wounds that you can see. So emotional wounds, wounds from their past, things that they've carried for a long time that has held them bound, but they don't even know. So they are moving, but they're not making significant progress. But they're moving. Wow. But they're not advancing. So there is no real progress, but there is movement. And then he also showed me an athlete trying to run, but the athlete.
Yeah, the network has showed itself again, but we're doing it. You know, we're going to have Enifome back. If you're just joining us, of course, do us a favor. Are you part of our Facebook community? So please click the like button and join us on Facebook. Join us on LinkedIn, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. As I bring back Enifome. Enifome, you're here. I'm so sorry that the network
let me
is
just
doing
go
this.
in. I tell you. So he also showed me women that an athlete that was trying to run, but the athlete was wounded. So he started to have a conversation with me that, will these athletes go far? I'm like, no. Like, what does the athlete have to do if this athlete wants to win this race or any other race? I'm like, the athlete needs to get treated. Like, that wound, you can't be running around with wounds. And he started to make me understand that there are different kinds of wounds. There are wounds that you can just use a band-aid on, just a little, apply like a little methylated spirit or what they call like alcohol. I don't know what they call it in the other in other countries, like alcohol, or what they call it like ethanol or something. I don't know, but spirits or antiseptic or whatever, like get first aid. There are some wounds that you just have to use something deeper than that. You may even have to go through a surgery to be able to treat. And he was saying to me that there are different degrees of wounds that women are carrying, and they need to be healed. That if they are not healed, they cannot make significant progress. In other words, if they are not truly healed, they cannot truly live. So they will be existing and just going through life and just counting the days instead of making the days count. Waking up with no fulfillment. Waking up smiling, but inside them, no true joy, no real joy, just keeping up appearances. And he also took me back to my life when I used to smile, but I was dying. I didn't understand what joy meant. I was dying inside of me, and I was carrying so many baggages. And so, and that's when I started to see the urgency of helping women live again. And one of the reasons why I'm really inspired to do what I do is because I saw my mom exist. So for me, God used my own life to teach me about living again and the dangers of a woman not living again. My mom was silenced before I was silenced. My mom was silenced before I was silenced. So because she didn't find her voice, it was difficult for me to find mine. So a lot of times when women are being abused, they think, oh, let me just tolerate this. Let me just manage this. Let me just, because of stigmatization, what people will say, what will I do when I'm gone, when I get out, or whatever. And then they manage it. What that does for your child is that your child is learning how to be abused from you because you are not standing up for yourself.
Right.
And so I learned this. That's why when I was being abused, imagine me. I'm Enifome Speaks. I can talk. I can speak. But I became a mute when I was being abused. I became a mute. If you tell me sit down, I will sit down. If you tell me jump up, I don't know if you watch Coming to America where they told woman to, hop like on one leg. Like I was literally a zombie. And so when people say, oh, why is a woman that is abused not living? I'm like, you don't know what you're saying. It's not easy for an abused woman to just get up and leave. Because that woman that is being abused has forgotten who she is. In the first place, if you know who you are, you wouldn't even tolerate abuse in the first place.
So true.
But you've forgotten. So because I've been abused, because I've been broken, because I've been distressed when I didn't have anywhere to go, I broken, abused, I call them BAD, broken, abused, and distressed women live again. So
Mm,
it's holistic, starting from
mm.
your spiritual aspect. You need to connect back to your spirit. Because many people are just walking corpses and their spirits are literally dead. They're just walking like, oh, okay, let's just go to work and come back. Okay. They're not
Wow.
connected to their core. And
So
because I've
true.
been there, I know how it feels to be a walking dead, to
So true.
apply makeup and cover a mask up, but you're dying. Literally, you're dying. So I started to help women live again because I know how it affected me. I know
Yeah.
how it would have affected my children if I did not get back up. And I
Mm,
know how my mother existing affected me also. So I can see that it's really about the transgeneration, it's legacy. Live again
mm. Well, the network has done its thing again, but we're going to have Enifome back. Just hang on tight here. If you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do so that you're notified when we come on. And this is Sawuuboonaa, and we are here every Mondays and Sundays. We're just trying to find the right and perfect day for women. Can you hear me? Enifome, welcome back.
Yeah. So that's basically
Wonderful.
the work that I do. I just help women, build the courage because it takes courage to live again. I help them build that confidence again because self esteem, when a woman has been knocked down, her self esteem is in the
Mm,
trash.
mm,
Is in the trash because you had everything and then one time you had everything and one time you're starting afresh, you begin to see yourself as small, you begin to walk into a room and then and go to the back, you begin to settle for less in your choices, your relationships, your career, a job that you don't like, you're there saying yes ma, yes sir. Meanwhile you are more, right? You see a guy that doesn't deserve you, he doesn't even deserve your teeth, like one tooth, and you're there taking insults because you've forgotten who you are and life has knocked you down,
so
and so you
true.
feel let's just settle. No, there is so much more to you. Your life doesn't revolve around a man. He said he's not doing
Mm,
again, he should come and be going. You'll be fine, but you need to
mhm.
know that you'll be fine. And that's what I do with this woman. I help them see how that if you want to leave, you have to, your mindset has to be re-engineered because it's not just about living, it's about living whole. Because the
Mm,
Israelites left Egypt, but Egypt was stealing them. So many
mm,
times these women leave those relationships, those abusive
mm,
relationships, or
mhm.
decide that, okay, life has knocked me down. I lost my business. I lost my baby. I had a difficult situation in my life, but I just want to move on. Before you move on, there are things you need to do so that you will not be inhibited by the limits that life has brought your way as a result of what you've been through. So that's really what I
So
do
true.
with women with the Live Again movement. And then from there, as I was obeying God, He told me to set up a foundation. And then so the way I hear God is when I hear Him, I just begin to move. And so I heard, Live Again Foundation, go register. I'm like, okay. I started making moves, and then God brought someone. We registered it, Live Again Empowerment Foundation, where we help the less privileged sets of these women, the less privileged part. So the women who cannot. There was a woman that I was trying to help in Ogun State. Her salary was 13,000 naira. 13,000 naira.
Wow.
Like if you're in Nigeria with 3 children, you would understand how small that is, right? And this man
Absolutely.
abandoned her and went to impregnate another woman and just
Mm,
left her there to sort out the rent and
mm,
everything.
mm.
And so imagine that kind of woman, she can't even help herself. And so the Live Again is really holistic. It has to do with the spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, financial. So financial is supposed to be the last part where we are done with all the healing, the therapy sessions, the excavation of all the baggages, and just helping them connect back, go back to their past to see how, what played out and how we can uproot it as a seed so that it doesn't play out in their children. Because you see, patterns are real. I went through negative patterns that I was asking myself, why would I go through this? I was doing the right things. I thought I was okay. I was praying. I was doing, confessing the word. I had a wonderful job. I went to school. Why would I go through a negative pattern that my mom went through? It was then I now realized that, look, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. These thoughts are powerful. It's not really about what you're saying only. If you don't pay attention to what you're thinking, even though you don't like it or you like it, you're going to produce it. You're going to produce it. So it's not a function of saying, God forbid, or it won't happen to me. There are things that need to be done to ensure that what happened to you that is negative does not repeat itself in your children or those coming ahead of you. So this is really where the work is with Live Again. It's really about helping them excavate all of these baggages, all these things, and then help them find healing. Forgive the person that hurts you. If you don't forgive, it's going to impede you. So all of that, all this inner work, we do all of that. And then we now go into the part where they learn how to be mindful. They learn mindfulness. I teach them resilience. That look, you're building resilience. I teach them, using the 5 pillars of resilience, self-care, mindfulness, purpose, and everything. How can we strengthen these pillars so that they can be strengthened and more resilient? So that because when life knocks a woman down or knocks anyone down, that's not going to be the last time. That's not going to be the last time. Life is going to try to knock you down. You need to be equipped, yes, because you can't just say, okay, I'm living again now. I'm fine. It's a journey. It's a journey. And in that journey, life will knock you down again and again and again. You need to be able to know how to get back up. So this is really what I teach these women and help them build the courage, the confidence, the resilience, and the drive, leveraging their pain. Because you see, when the pain is coming, sometimes that pain can either kill you or help you. If a pain has two jobs, like 2 functions, it can destroy or it can empower. It can help you, it can energize you from the inside because it has passion, it has energy. So I teach them how to leverage that energy. That you're angry, yes, you know what? Take that anger and build your life. Take that pain and build your life. Wow. Tell yourself, I will not remain small. This person that hurt me must not meet me the way he left me. Amen. Like, I teach them basically how to profit from their pain using the lessons from the experiences, because your experience is gold. It's gold. And so, you see, when a woman has been knocked down also, she loses hope. So it's like helping them ignite hope, but teaching them that everything you need for your life is inside you. You don't need, because you see, oh, someone's coming to help me. Someone's coming to help me. I went to Kirikiri prison, female prison, and I went to speak to the women there. And I told them, I said, look, you may be in prison here. It's a physical prison, but there are many who are in prison that nobody can see. That's the prison of the mind. So you can decide, see yourself as, you know what, I'm in prison or I'm not in prison. Freedom is not really a physical thing. And I told them, I said, you see, you are going to leave this place, but you need to believe it. And if you're truly sorry for your sins, God is not punishing you for those sins. Because when a woman has been knocked down and you go through so much, you begin to wonder, okay, God is mad at me. Nobody likes me. You know, all those thoughts that the enemy lies to you. He told me as well that God was mad at me. And I ran away from God at some point until I realized that, look, the one person you're running away from is the one person that can save you.
Or help you.
And so God didn't just save me. He saved me to save others. And now I know exactly what to do for a woman who has found herself in that painful, difficult situation, because I was there and I opened up myself to God to heal me, to help me and empower me. And now I can now empower these women. So we really, that's really what the Live Again movement is about. And then the foundation is for the less privileged sect of those women. So we also have the Live Again coaching for women who are also, they know that they are living less of the life that they should be living. These are, some of them are top executives that even they look good on the outside. They have the right things, right? But they are not living. Only them You know how they say, they show for face in Nigeria. It's something we say in Nigeria, right? As our faces are different, so is our pain different. So my job is really to help women truly live from the inside out. Truly live. Let life come into you from inside and flow out into everything that you are and represent. Take your life back. Take charge of your life. God gave you life, but you are the one in charge of it. He put you in charge of it. Stop waiting for life to bring to you anything life desires, when you can take life by the hand and tell life, this is what I want. And you see, there are many stereotypes that we received when we're growing up. And one of those for me was que sera, sera. What will be, will be. I believed it hook, line, and sinker. And so I wasn't really intentional. I just felt that because I was beautiful, I was intelligent, I came from a good home, and I was well trained, everything will work according to the way I wanted. I didn't even know that there are things to pay attention to. Your thought life, you can create. You are creating with your thoughts, whether you like it or not. And everything that you see that is visible was created from the invisible. So you're talking about, you see, when I try to coach these women, I help them use their lessons to profit. I wrote a book from the lessons and the mistakes I made in my relationship. And I sold copies, many copies. And I sat down one day, I said, wow. So this knowledge was inside me. Wow. Wow. So I teach these women how to use what is inside them, how to use the intangibles to create tangibles. And that's where the living again financially comes in. Sometimes we have to help them get jobs. So I speak to my friends that have companies and have job outsourcing firms. I say, okay, there's someone that I need to help. She's a single mom. She has 3 kids and she has this skill or that skill. Can you help her? Now, there are women that don't even go to school. Some of them, I have to just, look for money, personal funds from my own coaching, from my business, ask for donors and get the money and try to set them up in a business. Either it's a thrift business, whatever they can do that is according to their skills. It can even be a food business, right? So that's really what we do with the foundation. And then the Live Again coaching, which, has all the different aspects of Live Again. We have the Live Again community and all of that. But there's something I really want to say. And if there's anything I want anybody to take from this session, it is obedience. It is obedience. And the reason is that because I didn't know what I was doing as well. I was just obeying God. And so he would tell me, do this, I would do that. So when I did the Live Again movement, he told me Live Again Foundation. I started doing that. And then one day he said to me, Live Again Summit. And I wrote everything down. I just wrote it down the way I was hearing it. And I wrote it down. And then this year, the beginning of the year, he put it in my heart that it's time to have this summit. And I started just from there. I got volunteers. We had the summit. We had over 600 women in attendance. And it was around the period where a popular gospel musician in Nigeria died. Her name is Osinachi, or her name was Osinachi. And it was a vision that was ripe in its time. And as I obeyed God, I saw so many women transformed. We had women, come share about living again after the loss of a child, living again after losing your job, living again after losing your home, and all of that. It was beautiful. And that's really where the Live Again community started from. So now we have a thriving Live Again community where we take our affirmations, we pray, we celebrate these women. If you're going through something, you can reach out. And then we're creating like support groups where you can actually go to a particular location and go there and tell them what you're going through, and everyone there can support you. So it's just getting bigger and bigger. And then there is a Live Again shelter, which is another level of obedience that I obeyed. I just wanted to help women who are in these situations that don't have where to go, because many times when a woman is pushed out of the house by an abusive spouse, or he brings in a girlfriend, or he says, I don't want you again, these women are in harsh conditions. They can be outside in the open where they might be raped. Different things can happen to them. So that's really what made me decide to have the Live Again shelter. It's really a place of solace that is temporary for women who have been through those difficult situations of abuse and pain and distress. and they just need a temporary place of solace to stay and reinvent themselves and bounce back. So it's a lot of work that we do with the Live Again, but well, God just keeps helping us, and it just keeps getting better and better. And then yeah, the
Wow.
Lamb Tribe as well. So the Lamb Tribe is the Live Again movement tribe. There is also an exclusive Lamb Tribe where I coach the women that are, can afford coaching,
Mm.
but see themselves living less and want to also be more. So that's why we have the exclusive Lamb Tribe community, the ELC, where I just take these women on a complete makeover journey. They come in there and they are restored back to God as Father, their relationship with God, their intimacy, and then from there we fix the mind, and then we go deeper, deeper, deeper till we get to the financial part. So these women have to craft a new vision, write out their vision boards. It's beautiful what God is doing with the exclusive Lamb Tribe community. Marriages are even restored. People are telling me my marriage was restored because of what you shared, what I learned. And people are saying, you know what, I'm breaking off this relationship. People are saying, you know what, I'm starting a new job. There's a particular person in Ghana who is now going to go and start a tea party with youths because she is now helping. So the goal of the Lamb Tribe, the exclusive Lamb Tribe, is that when you are done or before you are done, you are able to carry out a Live Again project. So you help other people
Mm.
live again now that you're
Mm.
living again. So it can be
Wow.
youths,
This is
it can be women, it can be anybody, but in line with what God is putting in your heart or what you've been through, go and help other people that are struggling or were struggling like you. And then when they're done with the Lamb Tribe, they become Live Again ambassadors where they're just going to help other people live again. So it's really about legacy, legacy,
I love it.
legacy, legacy, legacy. That's what Live Again is about.
Wow, that's so awesome. I am so inspired. I mean, I knew a little bit about Live Again, but just really being here and learning a lot more from you and just seeing how you've been able to expand this, it really shows me that there's so much that we can all do to support the woman that is next to you. So if you're just listening to us or you're just joining us for the first time, it is Sawuuboonaa, and we are an African show. It's a show for the African women where we highlight and spotlight women from all over Africa who are doing amazing work, who are using their story as a stepping stone. Every one of us has got a story, okay? Every one of us has gone through pain. I mean, you just can't be in the world without pain. Every one of us is broken at some point in life. You might be listening to me and you're like, no, Dr. Lisa, I've never been broken. Well, you are broken somehow because maybe through childbirth. A lot of times, so many women do not feel the same after childbirth. After childbirth, you begin to look at the mirror. Oh my goodness, my tummy is too big. I need to watch my weight. I need to lose 15 pounds here. I don't like the way my face looks. I don't like the way my hair is. My hair is falling off. And you begin to see so many things wrong with you. And that's how if it's not being controlled, you just lose your self-esteem, lose your confidence, lose your self-worth, and all of that goes in a different route. I tell you, the things that leads to mental cases, it's very slim. In Africa, it seems like unless someone is on the street and taking off their clothes, it's like, oh, this one is mad now. It started from somewhere. Nobody just wakes up and gets mad like boom. It started from somewhere. Probably they were depressed. Probably they were feeling they felt that they were not good enough at some point. They felt undeserving of anything good. Probably they had voices speaking to them that were leading them to different terrible paths. Probably they were going through pain. They were being abused or something, and nobody was paying attention to that. So now you have seen that there's a community that can help. It's Lamb Tribe. And, Enifome is happy to work with you everywhere that you are in the world. She's ready to take you on to be part of the program from the scratch. And listen, you don't need to polish yourself before you get on the program. Come the way you are. Even if you don't have anywhere to go, they have shelters. And that's something that I thought was so amazing because sometimes what makes women stay in abusive relationships because of where to go? When they think about it, where am I going to go? Okay, I just stick here. When they think of the shame, they just stick there. When they think of what will people say, they just stick there. But like we spoke about one of the artists that we lost a couple of months ago, may her soul rest in peace. When you're gone, you're gone. listen, there's no rewind, there's no reverse, there's no, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have put my leg there, I'm ready to come back into the world. It doesn't happen. So now is the time for us to be in control of us. Now, I'm also speaking to that woman who is saying, Dr. Louisa, I want to see a better Africa. But there's certain people who should lead the pack. Listen, there is something for you to do wherever that you find yourself. And that's what this show is all about. I want to make sure that I hope that it inspires you to begin to think differently about yourself, about what you're doing, about your commitment to your environment. I hope that this inspires you. I hope this message inspires you. It gets you thinking. You begin to have that difficult conversation with yourself that what can I do? I hope that this helps you to shake off the shame that you once had felt, where you felt like, oh my goodness, because a lot of women are being abused, but we're just kind of like hiding it. Oh, you don't want to talk about it. I know it's going to be okay. And the one that freaks me out the most is when we say, oh, God is going to do it. Listen, God did not ask you to sit in the abusive relationship. It's not working out. It's not working out because your life is linked to so many people. Your life is linked to your children. Your life is linked to your network. Your life is linked to people who are watching you. There's constantly someone watching you every single day. So if you just sit down there being beaten and thrown down and torn apart, you cannot be that person who you were created to be. So if you want to become your better self, if you want to become your preferred self, to live your full potential, then you have to begin to take care of the excesses. And I know that you cannot do it alone. And that's why we're bringing women who are working actively in the community, not just women who kind of like put it on their Facebook. Oh, I have this community. They're getting the work done. And I know that Enifome is getting the work done. I see what she does on a daily basis. Sometimes I'm like, where does she get the energy from? I need 1/10 of that kind of energy because she's doing the work. She is, you could see the passion come through her, because of the pain that she's experiencing with women every single day. And she's begging you, like, listen, you don't have to be alone. I am ready to be your sister. I can hold your hand. It doesn't matter where you are. Slip into her inbox. You don't have to tell me, okay? Slip into her inbox. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. She's everywhere as Enifome Speaks. If you can't find Enifome, look for Firebrand. You're going to find her. I tell you, you'll find her somewhere. And please get in contact with her. And you know what? I just want to celebrate every woman here. Of course, this is the month of August. We're still celebrating the women of Africa. I want to let you know that you are enough. You are just good the way you are. You are fine. It doesn't matter what your experience is. You went through that so that you can get the keys to unlock other people who are still bound. So don't ever look down on yourself. I don't care whatever your story was. Bring it on. It's going to change somebody's life. And if you have been watching us and you're enjoying what we just shared, and you think there's a woman around you that needs to be celebrated, that should be brought on the show, please do me a favor. Either you slip in my inbox, Louisa Akaizo, or you can go on our website. It's www.womenwhowinafrica.org/show and nominate that woman, and we are happy to bring her on. Tomorrow, we're going to be back with another amazing woman right from South Africa, so you don't want to miss that. But tomorrow, we will be around at 12 p.m. West African time. What's that going to be for you? 7 p.m. Eastern time? What part of the world are you joining us from? But please set your alarms. You want to be there real life, just in case you want to, you have a question to ask. So if you had a question, you can ask any for me right now. But if you get here on replay, sometimes we don't see your questions. You know what I mean? So you want to be here in real time. But I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who have jumped on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. We just got this started. This is the beginning, and I'm so excited. And Enifome, I cannot thank you enough for the work that you're doing. I cannot thank you enough for opening up your arms to receive women who are in pain, girls who are in pain, and you're just doing it, effortlessly. It's just like, this is who I am. Come as you are. I'm ready to work with you. Thank you for saying yes, because if you didn't say yes, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Thank you for being obedient. Thank you for, your hunger to support every woman that comes to you. I thank you for the Lamb community. I appreciate you. And I look forward, of course, to bringing you back. I know there's so many exciting things that you are about, and I look forward to bringing you back on the show. So, everyone, thank you so much. It's the top of the hour, and we're trying not to take your time. But if you came in and I didn't give you a shout out, it's because you didn't comment. But I just want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you. And please do us a favor, tell other people about us. Share our flyers,
Yeah.
okay? Get people to come to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you cannot miss any time that we come on. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 12 p.m. West African time. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Goodbye. Thank you so much, Enifome. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.